Hey guys, welcome back to Have a Beer with Eric. This is review number 58, and for today, as you can see, we have a very special bottle. This is Chaos Grid The Final Course by Modern Times. I had mentioned before that I had wanted to showcase one of the beers that we get access to as a league member at Modern Times. And here's one that has been trading pretty highly, and as a league member, I was able to buy up to 3 bottles, and 3 members were able to buy, I think, up to 4. And so this is I've already had this beer before, and we'll just talk about what I've thought before after I taste it right now. But let's just say that I really hope that you guys enjoy this review. Especially like if you've had this beer before, or if you've been wanting to try this beer before, and maybe you might want to try it even more now. And but we'll see about that. Also, if you guys hear like a beep, that's my smoke alarm that ran out of battery and it won't shut up even though I already put new batteries, so that sucks. But so Chaos Grit, the final course, it's a blended imperial stout, so that's I believe Mega Devil's Teeth aged in bourbon barrels, and also Monsters Park aged in bourbon barrels. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Or at least one of the two might be maple bourbon barrels. It's something along those lines. But so it's a blend of those two beers with coconut, coffee, almonds, cocoa, and vanilla in the beer, and it is 13.5%. So the Chaos Grid The Final Course is actually the second rendition of Chaos Grid. There have been 3 so far. The very first Chaos Grid released was the Mocha Latte edition, and that one came out back in January. It was it got released for the member welcoming party, and then there was also a Carnival Caffeination, and it's been on tap a few times at Modern Times at all locations. And then this is the second rendition, and which got released during the sale, one of the past sales. And then they have the third rendition of Chaos Grid, which is the Monsters Mix, which is aged in port and brandy barrels, and it has cocoa nibs at it. And so far, this is my favorite rendition out of the 3. And then Mocha Latte, and then Monsters Mix, mainly because Monsters Mix has port barrels in it, and I'm not a huge fan of port. So, let's go on with the beer. There we go, my member glass. There we go. Ooh, I can smell. I can already smell the almonds and the coconut from the distance. I'm really digging when I make these reviews. I start to notice a lot the smells from the beers. If you guys haven't noticed, I smell the beers from far away, and it's just like the first wave of notes of the beer that I start to receive, and it's pretty cool. So if you're ever curious, just start doing pours like me and try to get a smell out of like far away, and then you can compare with up close, see how the smell changes, and see how it affects your taste buds. But up on the nose up close, it's very sweet. It smells a lot like coconut. It's a good amount of vanilla as well, and I do get some almonds, and for some reason I smell like a little bit of like maple sweetness to it. So I do think it's one of the 2 beers is aged in maple bourbon barrel, so that's where it might get the maple out of there. But yeah, let's go into the beer. Cheers, guys. Wow, that is killer. The beer, first of all, is super thick. It's just very viscous, very rich body, um, pretty heavy. It is 13%, so it makes sense, and also like it must have had a really long boil to make the beer very thick. Um, Definitely a good amount of coconut in there. A little bit of coffee in there as well, a little nutty, just a hint of vanilla at the very end. But this is very nice. Such a good beer. I've had it. They had a preview tasting for this, and I missed the preview tasting, so ended up driving from work to the Modern Times up in Encinitas to go try it, and I loved it. So I got all my bottles, and then it has been tapped. I think the only other time that it has been tapped in San Diego in Modern Times has been for their patio opening, which was this past weekend, and they had the Chaos Grid Final Course, and they had their the Monsters Park Espresso Macaroon edition, but with double coffee and double coconut, and it was called Monster on Monster, which is also really good. It was great doing a side by side of two really big heavy beers that are both so rich in flavor, and Chaos Grid came out as the sweeter of the two, like kind of chocolatey, and Espresso Macaroon came out like pretty coconutty and coffee. But yeah, this is great. It's a great beer. And I do pick up just a little bit of coffee in there as well, and I just noticed that it tells you on the bottle the type of coffee. It's a single origin coffee, the Myanmar Shan State, and it had a natural process. I'm not too sure with the processes for coffee, so I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the natural process is and what other processes are. And as always, this beer is vegan. But yeah, I'm so glad that I was able to get all my bottles, and then I ended up trading one of my bottles for the Bottle Logic Fundamental Theorem, which was their 20% beer. It was it's the Bottle Logic's the third tier, basically a third tier of their fundamental observation, because they had fundamental observation and then fundamental forces, which is the second tier, and then fundamental theorem that came out this year during the week of Logic. Excuse me, but I thought that beer was too boozy, too strong, too much bourbon in there, and like barely any stout taste to it, or very little vanilla, and only towards the very end. So when I saw that that beer and this beer were about even for secondary value, I just jumped on it, and I posted a trade on Facebook asking for an in-person in San Diego trade, one bottle for one bottle, and I got an answer right away. So it was great that I get another one of these bottles. I love how much coconut this has. It's so abundant in the smell, and I'm pretty sure that also adds to the thickness of the beer. That's great. It's such a good beer. And the alcohol in the taste is very subdued as well. This could just be like an imperial stout, maybe like 8%, 9% tops. Nowhere near the 13.5 that it is. I've tasted stouts at like 8 or 9% that are boozier than this. So it's crazy how Modern Times can keep the ABV in check when it comes to the flavors of the beers. But I can't emphasize enough how I believe that this is probably the best year to have joined the League of Partygoers and Elegant People, which is the Modern Times membership, due to the beers that they've provided as available to the members, just both in allotted beers or available for sale like this one. So it's just beers that never even make it to the public for bottles, and that's pretty cool. And just the quality has just keeps going up, and it's definitely the best year to have joined it, and I'm very happy with my membership, and hopefully I can renew it for next year, which I'm pretty sure I will. But I think my rating for this beer is it's probably between a 4.75 and a 5. I want to lean a lot towards giving this a 5 out of 5 beer because it just goes really well together. But also I had espresso macaron last week, and I thought that one was a 5 out of 5. So it's kind of hard to compare between the two. But I do think I actually might like this better out of the bottle than on draft. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna give this one a 5. I think it deserves it. It's such an amazing beer, and I think I'm definitely liking this better out of the bottle than I did on tap, and I absolutely loved it on tap. So I think this beer is worth a 5. It's a chaos grid final course. But so until then, I think this wraps it up for now. I'll try to make a review for next week. Try to keep on track. I'm a little behind on posting them on Instagram. They're all posted on time on YouTube, but I'll catch up to those. But yeah, just for now, follow me on Instagram. Have a beer with Erik, or subscribe to my channel. Add some comments. Let me know if you've had the beer or if you've been wanting to try it. And yeah, just stay in touch, guys. Cheers.